In this lecture, we will learn real product placement using focus and stable diffusion. So the goal is to have a digital model that is wearing real existing fashion, and the fashion looks 100% real. When do you need that? You need that, for example, if you want to create a digital model representing a fashion brand. Then the clothing has to look 100% real. And how you do that is subject of that lecture. Good. Now I want to show you my personal method of doing real product placement using Fooocus. Keep in mind that there are several other methods to do that. Maybe you come up with your own method of doing it. I just want to show you how I do it. Good. So the goal is to have the same clothing, but different people wearing it. And all the people are obviously AI generated. For example, this is our initial girl, and we want to be able to create other people wearing the same outfit and also having the same pose. And with the method I already showed you, for example, in painting, we could achieve something similar, but the outfit and the details would be changed. But with that method, as you can see, the model is completely changed, but all the details are exactly the same. The buttons and the sewing, everything. And this is why, in my opinion, this method is so powerful. What we also can do is to also change the background. For example, the image here on the left was the original photo. It's also AI generated because I don't want it to have problems regarding the license of an image I use here in the course, but you could also use a real photo. And as you can see, this image looks like a real photo and the whole process is the same. But we can achieve with my method to change also the background and the model. And this gives us unlimited opportunity, as you can imagine. And how does the process look like? First, we start with the real photo. Then we remove the background. For example, with Canva, this is super easy. It's done in one click. Afterwards, we go to an image manipulation program like GIMP and we cut out the rest of the person. For example, in this case, the throat, the chest, and the head. And afterwards, we create a mask. And how you create the mask, you already learned in the in-painting section when we used the mask upload to change the color. And afterwards, you can use the original image together with the mask to in-paint a new person and also a new background. And I will show you that in a minute on my screen, live in focus, how it actually works. But there's one more trick. In case that after the in-painting, you get a little bit weird results or the edges are not perfect, or just the outfit doesn't match too good, there's one more trick. You can basically just undress the complete model using in-painting and then drawing over the body and saying, for example, naked female body. Then you will get the same girl, the same face, the same background, everything, but the girl is completely naked. Afterwards, you go to an image manipulation program and you just place the clothing again on top of the naked body, and then obviously it fits perfect. So this is how I work and how I can achieve perfect results. And now we go over to Fooocus and we try it out. Good, I'm here already in Fooocus, and now the first thing we have to do is to get our settings, advanced and input image. Then we go to in-paint or out-paint, and as we use a mask, we have to click here to enable advanced masking features. And then we can upload our original image and also a mask. And this is what we do now. All the resources here are also provided in the download section of the lecture, so feel free to test it out for yourself. For example, with another prompt, maybe you manage to in-paint another person. Okay, so the first thing we need is our original photo. So we upload this here on the left side. Now we have our girl up here. And here in the mask upload, obviously we take our mask and we upload the mask here. And I say it again, if you don't know how to create such a mask, just go back to the lecture about in-painting and mask upload. There I showed how to do it. And in this case, a little repetition. The area which is black will stay the same. in this case the outfit, and everything that is white will be changed. So the model and also the background. Good, we have uploaded it, and then we have to select the mode. I recommend to go with in-painting default for the most of the time. This gets you a nice result. Sometimes you can also go with modify content. You just have to test it out in your particular situation, but we go with the default. Afterwards, we select JPEG and we create just one image. Because it's also an interesting fact I noticed that always the first generated image looks the best. So instead of generating 10 images in a row in one go, I recommend you to always create one image, then stop it, one image, stop it, and again. So you get just better results. This is just a practical tip from my side, but of course test it out for yourself. Then we go to quality, and for the model we select the realism engine, and that's it. Now there's just one more thing missing, and this is a prompt, and we can type in here whatever we want. Let's try out a hyper realistic image of a 50-year-old French woman with red hair, wearing a gray suit and a black t-shirt. Why do I add gray suit and black t-shirt? Because we already have this actually here. I include it to also give context, because you can imagine that Fooocus will now start in painting here and also outside. And if we don't give the context of gray suit and black t-shirt, it could be that they will remove this area here, or that the suit is also changed. And it just increases the likelihood of a good result if we give a little bit more context. Good, let's test this out. Now we hit generate and then we wait for the result. Nice, we are now in the generating process of that first image, and as you can see it actually works quite well. There's still the gray suit, and as you can see a little bit at the edges, Fooocus is also changing the outfit to blend it in perfectly, but Fooocus is doing a great job here, because the main structure and the main design of this clothing outfit keeps the same, and also the black t-shirt. And yeah, I forgot actually to specify the background, so Fooocus is now just doing a gray background. We could also write office environment or countryside, whatever, and then we would have such a background. But let's check out what we get. Nice, this is the image, and as you can see, Fooocus did a great job. We have our model. I would now improve the face a little bit. Of course, it looks a little bit low quality, but I think in general, Fooocus did an awesome job. Let's compare with the original image. Nice, here we have our original image, and as you can see, when we compare it, this looks fantastic. The details are exactly the same, the stitching, the pocket, also the buttons here, because it was not changed. This is the magic of that method, because if you mask the whole area and you redraw the entire image, the details will disappear or will be changed. But as we kept the details as they are, this is a really, really good result. Good. Now I want to show you one more thing, because sometimes this is not fitting perfect and you have to do some adjustments, or maybe Fooocus was also in painting some underwear and you just have to change it a little bit, but you like the general pose and the general background and so on, then I have another trick for you. You can basically upload this image. I will just show you how. We make this disappear, the mask, and we don't any longer need it. And now I will show you how to actually do that. So you take that image and you pull it down here to the in painting section, and then you can just use the pencil, mask the whole woman like this, make sure you really get the entire body, and then you go up here to the prompting field, and then you would type female naked body, and here in the negative prompt you write clothing. And obviously I can't show this now here in the course because the girl will be undressed afterwards, but you get the point. Afterwards you have this girl in exact the same pose but without clothing, and afterwards you can use that image in an image manipulation program and just place the clothing on top of the naked girl, and then the clothing will look perfect and it will fit perfect. And I will just show you in general how to do it in my image manipulation program with a little bit of censorship, but you get the idea. So for example, you could end up with an image like this, and then you just mask the girl and maybe also the background, and you delete the clothing and, for example, also the background, how I did it here. And then I censored it here now, but the girl is completely naked, as you can see. Before she was dressed, and then the clothing disappeared. So you can easily do that with Fooocus. And afterwards, you take the clothing, this one here, cut out as a PNG, and you can just place it on top. And if you then move the clothing a little bit, you find the perfect spot and you can adjust it perfectly. And with that method, you can achieve a very, very high quality because you can cut out the clothing perfectly and then just place it on top of the naked body. And then all the edges will be perfect. And as the original image was already created very similar and very close to the final result, it won't look artificial if we just put the cutout dress on top of the naked body. So this is another trick I often use to realize images like this. Because if the girl is completely dressed, like here, we can achieve this in one go. But sometimes, especially with something like that, Fooocus will add underwear or the edges are a little bit blurry and so on. And then it's worth it to go the extra mile, remove the clothing, then cut out the dress, and then just place it on top of the naked body. Good, that's it for this lesson regarding real product placement. And in this example, we worked with clothing, but you can imagine you can do this method with whatever product you can think of. For example, we could cut out a can of Coca-Cola and also put it in the hand of a model, or we could do that with any other product. Just keep in mind that you have to be able to create the mask and then generate the model or the background or whatever around the product. And if the product is afterwards affected a little bit by Fooocus, you can just remove the product and put it in again, cut out as a PNG. Make sure you always use PNG when you use cutout objects, because PNG gives you the opportunity to work with a transparent background. So this is another important detail at that point. And I just have to tell you that it needs a little bit of practice to do great product placement with AI models. I already practiced a lot regarding that method, so for me it's not that difficult. But practice, 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 and you will see it also works for you perfectly. And in case you have any questions regarding that method, or something was a little bit too fast and you still have questions, feel free to ask your questions in the question section of the course.